Hello everyone, my name is Razin and welcome to my Let's Play of Drakengard. Before we get into the actual game, there is some housekeeping that I do want to do real quick before we start the actual gameplay. But if you just want to skip this and go right to episode 1, which is the start of us talking over the video game, then that's completely fine. However, there's a few things in this video you may find interesting, so maybe stick around for just a little bit. The first is that this Let's Play will have co-commentary provided by my friend Zach. He didn't get far into Drakengard before dropping it, but he still wants to experience what the game has to offer, so I invited him on. I thought it'd be interesting to have a nice dynamic going on between someone who has beat the game to completion and someone who is going through it with mostly a set of fresh eyes. However, because I'm so used to recording Let's Plays alone, it took some fiddling around before we figured out the right audio setup to use, and as a result, the first two episodes of the Let's Play won't sound quite as good as episode 3 and onward. I apologize and hope that you can bear with us as we get used to our configuration. With that out of the way, there are really three main subjects I want to cover in this video that might be of interest to you. Drakengard is a bizarre game, and as a result, this is going to be a bizarre Let's Play, and some added context may help you make sense of what you're experiencing. Specifically, I want to give a brief description of what Drakengard even is, my mission statement and overall mindset behind this Let's Play and how it's going to be edited, and some background story details from the instruction manual that add some context to the beginning of the game. But, like I said, if none of this catches your eye, and you can just feel free to skip ahead to the next episode and just go from the start of the game onward. For the rest of you, let's get right into it. Drakengard is a PlayStation 2 game developed by Kavia and published by Square Enix in 2003. In Japan, it's called Dragoon. The game has been described by its creators as a hybrid of genres, with Ace Combat and Dynasty Warriors both being cited as influences. Half of the game takes place on the ground and plays like a hack and slash with light action RPG elements, while the other half of the game has your character taking to the sky on a dragon. That sounds really fun on paper, but in practice the gameplay is a mess, and even the most hardcore of fans won't defend it. What's truly noteworthy about Drakengard and why it developed a cult following is the story. Drakengard was directed and written by Taro Yoko, who at this point is better known for directing Nier, which is a spin-off of this game and has story connections to it as well. Other than Nier, Drakengard was also followed up by a sequel, Drakengard 2, which Taro Yoko had a reduced role in creating and is generally not as well liked as Drakengard 1 because of it, and a prequel, Drakengard 3, which once again was directed by Yoko. And next month, Nier will receive a sequel titled Nier Automata. To say why the story of Drakengard developed a following is to probably say too much, so I'll let you experience that for yourself. The answer to the question of why I want to Let's Play Drakengard is complex and multifaceted. To make a long story short, I find the game interesting as hell, and I want to be able to use this series as a resource for those who want to experience Drakengard without playing through it for themselves. A few months ago, I completed a Let's Play of Shin Megami Tensei 1 for similar purposes. In that playthrough, I heavily edited out excessive random encounters and travel in order to cut down on otherwise superfluous and repetitive content. Similarly, there will be sections of Drakengard's gameplay I will fast forward through to save both your time as a viewer and our time as commentators. I know this style of Let's Play isn't everyone's cup of tea, and that's perfectly fine, but to be honest, there's only so much to talk about when it comes to a simplistic hack-and-slash combat system that evolves very little throughout the dozens of hours spent participating in it. Trust me when I say I realize how pretentious this sounds, but I think the truly valuable parts of Drakengard as an experience are within the story, which I will absolutely be showing off in full. I'll still be sure to highlight and discuss interesting elements of the gameplay as they come, of course, and I'll do my best to show off the different weapons and abilities gained throughout the game as they become available. I also want this Let's Play to double as a walkthrough for those of you who wish to play along with the Let's Play, so I'll be sure to give the best gameplay advice I possibly can for missions with difficult requirements. Part of this Let's Play will also be sharing development and writing trivia that has been revealed throughout the years since the game's release and interviews. Certain elements of the story were changed as a result of localization, for example, and I'll do my best to list those changes as we reach them. Please keep in mind that a lot of this information is only available in English through fan translations, which may or may not be entirely accurate, so feel free to correct me in the comment sections if I do get something wrong. I'll be sure to correct myself in the Let's Play proper via editing or at the start of future episodes as appropriate. In conclusion, if you want a highly edited playthrough of Drakengard which will give you a reasonable understanding of its story, gameplay, and development history, you're in the right place. If you're looking for something that's a bit more of a raw reaction, completely unedited, you may want to look elsewhere. Finally, I would like to read select passages from the game's instruction manual as I feel it adds some helpful context before starting the game. Unfortunately, the instruction manual also reveals some information that spoils later events in the story, so it's hard to recommend actually reading through it yourself if you want to be safe. Most of these details are either heavily implied or stated outright in the first few hours of the game, but if you want things laid out with a bit more clarity than the game itself actually provides, these readings may be nice for you. If you'd like to completely skip this section and just experience the story as the game itself presents it, you can safely stop watching this video and move on to episode 1, as I won't be covering anything else after I'm done reading these passages. Overture of Death. Why does man wage such savage war? The world of Drakengard. It is an ancient time, and dragons still roam upon the earth. Two great powers, the Union and the Empire, wage fierce war for the control of a goddess who protects the harmony of the world. Hidden in 3 sacred places scattered throughout the world are the Great Seals. A 4th seal, which unites and protects the others, is embodied in the life of a single woman. This woman is called the goddess. The legends say that should these seals be broken, the gods themselves will sow upon the earth the seeds of resurrection. Some claim these seeds will bring forth the salvation of all mankind. The Goddess. Upon the goddess's soul lies the awesome weight of the seals, a weight that inflicts torment so great that her very flesh seems to be torn asunder. But the continuity of all reason and order in the world rests on her life, and she can do naught but suffer in silence under the burden of her great duty. Only with death does the goddess's task end. At the moment of her passing, omens and portents appear throughout the world, identifying the next young woman who is to become the bearer of the seal. None can refuse this sacred duty. It is an evil nightmare that must be repeated again and again for as long as mankind still lives. The Union and the Empire. Against the vast and awesome empire stands the Union, an alliance of nations great and small. The Union protects the goddess, and for many years the two rivals have matched each other in strength and power. But now the Empire has gathered demons and monsters to its cause, its military might has grown powerful beyond reckoning, and it seeks to make the entire world its own. The balance of power has crumbled. The Cult of the Watchers. It is rumored that behind the baneful machinations of the Empire lies the enigmatic religious order known as the Cult of the Watchers. Though the cult's murky origins remain wrapped in mystery, the dogma of the cult has infested all levels of society. More crazed zealots swell the ranks of the believers with every passing day. Kaim. In the center of the war's bloody maelstrom stands a warrior named Kaim. He was the prince of a small kingdom until his parents were cruelly murdered and his nation was destroyed by the red-eyed dragons of the Empire. Now he seeks his revenge on the battlefield in the service of the Union. The Red Dragon. The dragon is a supremely dignified and superior beast. She believes that she need merely raise her voice to have any creature quail before her. Dragons are acknowledged by other creatures to be lords of the natural world, charged by the gods to advance evolution by applying their trials and destroying all those too weak to deserve life. As creations of the gods, dragons will survive any trial that the gods choose to impose upon the world. Chains of a Pact. When a human and a beast exchange hearts and forge a pact, they become pact partners. It is said that a human and his or her pact beast are equal in strength to an entire nation's army, but only a select few may ever be worthy of tasting such power. The human must pay a terrible price for a pact by sacrificing a treasured function of his or her body. Furiae. At the age of 14, the portents led the hierarchs to name Furiae as the next goddess, and her life was transformed irrevocably. Her kingdom was lost, her parents were murdered, and the burden of serving as the goddess was placed upon her. As her cursed fate unfolded, Furiae despaired of all hope. As fate would have it, her brother joined the Union. Furiae was taken to his castle to be protected by Union forces. Yet Furiae has lost all attachment to her earthly life. Even as the battle for her rages around the castle, she can only sit quietly and offer up silent prayers. Inuart. Inuart is the son of a nobleman from the kingdom once ruled by Kaim's family. Inuart has a beautiful singing voice and is a master of the harp. Though sincere and honest, his heart is weak. When times become precarious and the situation turns grave, he must have someone to cling to lest he collapse into ineffectual despair. The one he relies on the most is his former betrothed, Furiae.